News, in cooperation with the Maui News and Akaku, Maui Community Television, proudly present the 2012 Primary Candidate Forum. And now the council race for Kahului District.
Aloha, my name is John Miller and I'm the president of the Kihei Community Association, and I'm here with Victor Reyes from the Kula Community Association, and right now we're going to host the primary political forum for the Kahului County Council race. So the Kahului County Council race is a race that everybody within Maui County can vote on, so if you're not living in Kahului, don't tune out right now. You will have the opportunity to vote in this race. So I wanted to go ahead and introduce our candidates today. Starting on the right side, we have Don Guzman, who's been running. In the middle, we have Alan Fukuyama.
Good evening.
And over here, we have Aaron McLaughlin.
Hello.
And I wanted to start off with a question that will be asked to each of you gentlemen. Alan, you're going to be the first to answer this question. We're going to ask you to answer within 2 minutes. Okay. And the question has to do with your personal goals and motivation. Why do you want to be a county council member? How will your county council service differ from that of your opponent? And you may wish to use activities from your own life which will give you an excellent idea of your qualifications to lead Maui County.
The goals I have is being born and raised in Hawaii, understanding the multicultural facets that we have in our state will help me to develop a long-term goal in seeing Maui's future grow for our kids as our adults. But what I want really to do is to work together with the communities. Without being able to work with the communities, your job becomes a very tougher job. So I have the ability to work with the communities because for myself, I believe that I'm a great listener, and to be a good leader, you have to listen before you act. So that would be some of the things that I would be wanting to do, is to work with the communities and see Maui and have a 20, 30, 40, 50-year plan, and not just tomorrow, live for tomorrow kind of a thing. Thank you.
Thank you, Alan. And Don, the same question is going to go to you. Why do you want to be a county council member? How will your service differ from your opponents? And what examples from your life can you use to exemplify your qualifications?
Thank you. That's kind of a complex question, but I'll start with the latter part of it. I'm Don Guzman, and I'm 42 years old, and I'm actually a family man. I have 3 children. And I'm married to the love of my life, Dr. Rose Guzman. Just a little bit about my background. I'm actually an attorney by profession. Before I became an attorney, I served as a legislative aide at the State House. I eventually then went on to become a deputy prosecutor in the county. I served for 5 years as a deputy prosecutor. 3 of those years was in the juvenile section, as well as the domestic violence unit, working with women, helping women, and other nonprofit organizations. After that, after my 5 years, I went on and did my own private practice. I do a general practice. I'm basically a family attorney, handling all different types of issues that come before me, that family issues that come up. And part of I've spent most of my career listening to issues and trying to solve those issues. I eventually went on to work on Congresswoman Mazie Hirono's staff for 4 years. So I got the federal experience in terms of working with constituents and their issues at the federal level. One of the most important things why I'm running for county council is to make sure that your children and my children have more opportunities in the future, to make sure that they have adequate wages and jobs in the future, as well as strengthening our economy and making sure that we care for our community, as well as protecting our environment and being fiscally responsible within our county. Thank you.
Thank you, Don. And Aaron, it's the same question to you about your personal goals and motivations. why do you want to be a county council member? How will your service differ from the other folks that are sitting up here today? And what from your background can you use to exemplify how your service will differ?
Okay, well, why I want to be a councilman, getting involved in politics was really not really what I ever saw myself doing. I was a school teacher for 11 years at Baldwin High School. And a couple years ago, I decided I wanted to do something different. And what I wanted to do was be a small business owner. I wanted to do some water activities. And that's when I ran into, just how hard it is to be a small business owner. The fact of the matter is Hawaii, as a state in whole, ranks number 49 in business. And that is something that every government official should be embarrassed of. And that's something that we need to change, because that means less opportunities, for the people. And as far as how am I different from Alan and Don? Well, to tell you the truth, I think they're both very good people, and I genuinely like both of them. However, I don't really see anything unique about them that we haven't seen in any other election. We got, a lawyer, another businessman. Where me, when I'm done here, I gotta go pull graveyard. I'm another working class guy, like a lot of people here, who's working multiple jobs just to barely make it. And that's why I'm very passionate about wanting to improve the situations for a lot of people, because there's far too many people that are working multiple jobs just to barely make it. And the fact that they have these laws that are not conducive to allowing small businesses to come in really adds to the problem, and I'm very passionate about fixing that.
Thank you, Aaron. And next question for Victor.
Okay, we'll turn to issues now, and the first question, the question is to Aaron. Each of you will get the same question. So you have 2 minutes. Aaron, about what difficult and possibly controversial issue do you feel strongly? You just mentioned passionate, or very passionate about. Mm-hmm. An issue that will take the most effort to convince your council colleagues and allow voters to see things your way.
Well, I think the number one issue, it's kind of related to what I was just talking about, is I think we need to go through the permitting processes for small businesses, and we need to get rid of the caps on permits. I think we need to allow, if somebody wants to start a business, we need to allow it. And I understand the fear. I understand the fear of, well, we don't want to go down to the beach and see, all these businesses. But it won't happen that way, because the law of supply and demand will govern itself, and the business ideas that aren't any good will close down on their own. Let me liken it to you like this. We got 3 of us up here. We got me, Alan, and Don. All 3 of us aren't going to win. There's only going to be one of us that take office. But all 3 of us have the opportunity to be a candidate. And so therefore we have the opportunity to go out there and, convince the voters that we're the best choice. Not all of us are going to win, only one of us will. It's the same concept in business. Not every person that has a business permit is going to succeed at their business, but they have the right to try. Just like not every kid that makes that tries out for the football team is going to make it, but every kid should have the right to at least try for the team. It's the same. It should be the same concept for business, and the fact that it's not is why we rank so low in business.
I think I nailed that one.
Same question, Alan. You have 2 minutes.
To me, one of the biggest issues that I hear out in the public, being a small business, independent business person, I go from businesses to businesses, talking to people, talking to business owners. I deal with a lot of contractors, and their issue is our permitting system. And again, I say 7 years ago I was involved in this project that working with MIS, and we wanted to turn that permitting process into a fully electronic digital system. And we did all the legwork. It took us about 6 months to get our engineers to design the right system for the county of Maui, and we did design a system that they were very interested in. And when we put it out to the people of the county of Maui that's involved in the permitting system, they were very, very, very reluctant to put in place that system. So I would say, to streamline a permitting system, is we need to have it where the thing is seamless. You apply for a permit, the thing is electronically routed to each department that's necessary to sign off on that permit, and it shouldn't take more than a month to finish. And that what is I would really want to move the county into, is I know there's a project in place already, but I want to make sure that thing is great for the people out in the county of Maui. Thank you.
Thank you, Alan. Don,
Thank you.
2 minutes.
I believe that the question calls for basically looking at one issue. What is the candidate most passionate about? Well, I'm one of the candidates here on the panel that is diverse enough to say that any issue is important to handle and make sure that you work together on the council in order
One
to
thing has to matter to you,
and
Don. Come
solve
on.
these issues together. So number one, since I have a legal background, I would like to see some of our building codes looked into, as well as our fire codes. A lot of our legal ordinances need to be refined and revisited and amended, as well as looking at strengthening our local economy. We can promote our local economy by looking at and promoting jobs that are sustainable and environmentally friendly, renewable energy, alternative energy, as well as revitalizing our small towns. We also need to look at issues that care for our community, our seniors, our juveniles, our youth, the preventative measure programs, so that they can actually have a better chance of growing up in a healthy environment. It's much easier to raise a man than it is to change a man. So preventative measure programs are important to me, as well as our community, and making sure that our seniors, which is a growing population, get the benefits and maintain all the benefits that are granted to them right now through the county. And lastly, we basically need to make sure that we protect our environment. I want to promote the island plan, as well as being fiscally responsible. We need to look at other ways to tax our ag lots, as well as being personally responsible for paying these high-ended fees, which basically are going skyrocketed, and finding different ways to create revenue and business for the county. Thank you.
Don, this next question is right back at you. You're going to have 2 minutes to answer, and it's a question about our bus system. The bus cost, what's actually paid by customers of the bus is only about 21%. So the rest of the cost is borne by taxpayers. The buses in Kahului, Wailuku are completely subsidized. Should this be changed? Should taxpayers be paying for buses that they aren't utilizing, or is this a fair system?
I believe it currently, as it exists, I believe it's a fair system. There's currently that I see in terms of issues within the bus system itself is the transfer tickets. I've been around campaigning around this island, and basically the bus system is very important to all members of our community, especially our seniors and people who are on fixed income. And so what we have right now in a situation where when they transfer to another bus, they've got to pay each time they transfer to a bus. In Oahu, they've got this thing called transfer tickets. So basically, when you pay one time, and you're able to transfer from bus to bus. I think in this economy, we've got to make sure that we provide something that is usable for the community, but affordable. Thank you.
Thanks, Don. And Aaron, same question to you. 2 minutes to answer. Our bus system is only 21% of the actual cost of the bus system is borne by the riders. Buses in Kahului, Wailuku are totally subsidized. Should this be changed, and how much should be paid by the customers?
Okay, well, that's a great question, and I don't know that I agree that people that aren't using the bus should have to pay for it. I think what we should honestly do is to think outside the box a little bit with the bus system, is do what they do like in other states. And this is, I'd love to say this is a creative idea on my part, but it's not. It's what they do in other states is for their bus systems. Is if you look up on the buses, you see all these advertisement spaces. Now, what those advertisement spaces say is clear the smoke, keep kids off drugs. I mean, they're community service ads. Now, while those are wonderful ads, they actually don't bring in any money for the county. Now, I don't see any harm in putting up like a McDonald's or a Pizza Hut or a Coke, you know, some commercial advertisements up there on the bus. You could generate more money that way through advertisements, and also put some advertisements on the outside of the bus, and then and also even at all the bus stops. That's how they do it on the mainland, and they're able to keep bus prices down that way. I do agree that the bus system is a very important service for the people of Maui, because the fact of the matter is this: is, you know, with gas prices are what they are, it's definitely a good way to save on gas, and so that's why we want to do what we can, you know, to keep the prices down. And if we got 30 people on the bus, that's obviously 30 less people driving a car, so it also cuts down on traffic. So I do think it's definitely an important system, and we do need to start looking at how they make money elsewhere to make money for the bus system.
Thank you, Aaron. And Alan, same question to you. Do you need me to repeat the question? Or?
If you would, please.
Okay, sure. The bus cost customers only 21% of the actual cost, and taxpayers pay most of the cost. Buses in Kahului and Wailuku are totally subsidized. Should this be changed? How much should be paid by the customers? How much by the taxpayers, many of whom don't ride the bus?
Well, right now we know that the bus fares all went up for the people. It's $2 per way, or there's a $5 daily pass. However, if the person uses a daily pass, it's $5, and if he wants to go to a different place, he has to pay again. That daily pass is only good for where you started, the original route that you started on. So to pay for the bus, you know, Aaron brought up an excellent point. We might sell advertising in the buses, because if you go to San Francisco, if you look in the bus, all you see on the top, the headliner is advertising. Hilton, come visit Hilton. Or there's a
I give you credit for saying that, Alan.
Pepsi Cola ad. And there's a placard in the back.
I would have just simply said, hey, I agree with him. I would never
Burger
say
King
my
or whatever
opponent
it
did an
But
excellent
that's
idea.
That's an excellent thought. I mean, that's an excellent idea. We should utilize the
I appreciate it, Alan, but I would just simply say I agree with you.
Project, so we can use it for advertising purposes and charge for them to advertise on the bus. That'll supplement the other costs that the consumer is not paying for. Thank you.
Thank you, Alan.
Okay. You each have 1.5 minutes to answer this question. Focusing on Kahului, which is the district that you represent. What will you do as a council member? I'm so sorry. The first question is for Alan. Alan, what will you do as a council member to take care of the problems that are arising with the build-out of the Maui Business Park, Maui Lani, and Waialae?
The problem I just recently, yesterday I was speaking to somebody, and there is a big problem there. Maui Lani Parkway, that business parkway, they sell the lots, but there's no water that comes with the lot. That's kind of a not too sensible thing. You know, we need to make the developer responsible for having all of those infrastructural assets in place before he sells it to the public. The project that's going to be, it broke ground. They had a blessing and they're ready to build, but I understand that there are no guarantees about their water meter, and that's something that we need to hold the developers to. They need to assure the customer that they have everything in place prior to selling that land. Thank you.
Thank you, Alan. Don, the same question. What will you do as a council member to take care of the problems that are arising with the build out of the Maui Business Park, Maui Lani, and Waialae?
First and foremost, I think we need to respect the system of the land use guidance system and making sure that all the zoning and the conditions are met. I believe that I'm a person of a balanced approach. Yes, we do need affordable housing. We do need housing for our workforce, but we also need to make sure that our environment is protected, our community is protected, and to hold these developers, I wouldn't say under the fire, but to make sure that they're meeting the conditions that are within the zoning that they've been granted to go ahead and develop. We also need to look at whether the final proposal of these developers, have they had any impacts? Have they have any issues that are still dwelling or will come up within environment, social and community quiet enjoyment? So we got to make sure that all of these issues are mitigated to make sure that the development that is going to push through is going to be harmonious within our community. Thank you.
Thank you, Don. Aaron, your turn. The same question?
Yeah, can you repeat it, please?
Okay, certainly.
Yes.
What will you do as a council member to take care of the problems that are arising with the build out of the Maui Business Park, Maui Lani, and Waialae?
Okay.
1.5 minutes.
Okay. Well, this is one where I would really like to focus on helping a certain group. And what I say is, because I'm saying this from, it's kind of a personal thing with me, because when I was a school teacher before, I ran into the unique problem of not making enough money to qualify for Maui Lani to get a home, and also making too much money to qualify for affordable housing. And that is a problem. I mean, we got people that are educating our youth and, you know, basically shaping the future, and we can't put them in a home. And it's not just teachers, but the people of that income bracket. And I found that as a huge problem when I was a teacher, of, you know, not being able to qualify because I don't make enough, and then